Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sean, and today we are talking about the 4 best budgeting apps to help you save money. Now, there are a ton of different budgeting apps out there. So what I've done is I decided to take all the different apps I've tried over the years, in addition to doing research on the most popular ones, and I've narrowed it down to 4. So I'm gonna go over what are those 4 apps, why did I pick this particular app, what are the pros? What are the cons? Make sure you stay to the end because I'll leave a few quick tips on saving money. In addition to that, I have a 5th app that I put on this video that is specifically for people who are in a relationship. Now, saving money is a super challenging thing for most people. In fact, according to surveys and according to certain studies, the average American savings account only has $5,300 in it. Only 37 to 41% of Americans can actually cover a $1,000 emergency expense, and only 30% of all Americans can afford a $400 emergency expense. This is absolutely insane. But I get it because it's super expensive. Cost of living is out the roof. Wages have not been going up in a long time, so it's very challenging to save money. Saving money is something I've talked a lot about on my channel. If you have not seen some of my other videos, I would highly recommend that you do. One of my recent videos, I talked about how I went from $400 living paycheck to paycheck to then saving $100,000 in just 4 years without having a real job. So I will put a link in the description box below to some of the best videos I have on saving money, so make sure you check those out. So the very first app that I have on my list is Mint by Intuit. So in my opinion, if I had to just pick one app, and I could only pick one app that would have the greatest chance of helping the most amount of people, this would probably be it. What I love about this app is it's free. It allows you to sync all your bank accounts, all your credit cards onto the app, and it will track your expenses, it'll track your income, it tracks your net worth. There are even credit monitoring services, bill payment reminders, and you can even track your investments. And there's also really cool blogs and tools like payment recalculators on this particular app that I always loved using, and the blogs honestly are pretty decent. You learn a lot about different education, financial tips, and things like that, so it's a fantastic app. The other thing I really love about this particular app is that you can set customized alerts for bill payments, overspending, late transactions, ATMs, things of that nature. I would say when it comes to the downside, probably the thing that really sticks out to me the most, and this is probably what you're gonna find when you check out reviews in this particular app, is that sometimes this app does miscategorize your purchases. There are instances where you make a purchase, you look on the app, and it's got like, a transportation purchase under some sort of like food purchase. But the good news is that if this does happen, it's really easy to go in there and manually change it. And the cool thing is usually when you change it, typically the app doesn't make the mistake again. However, sometimes it does. So that's definitely one downfall to this app. The other major downfall I would say is that because it is a free app, you will experience ads on this particular app. So if you're someone who just hates seeing ads, this might be a little challenging. So if you're wanting something that's not just kind of a generic budget, but you're wanting that really in-depth, very serious budgeting app, look no further than You Need a Budget, or YNAB. You Need a Budget was specifically designed for intense budgeting and also for helping people get out of debt. It's a very detail-oriented app, and it uses something that I absolutely love, which is a zero-based budgeting system, which really is the holy grail of budgeting. What that means is that every single dollar is accounted for in this particular app. So unlike most other apps where your money just goes into some bucket categories, this particular app has you assign every single dollar to a specific category. Bills, investments, savings, etc. Now, according to You Need a Budget website, the average user saves about $600 in the first 2 months and upwards of $6,000 within just the first year alone. And it really is because this is just such an in-depth app when it comes to budgeting. You get personal customer support. It allows you to set goals in terms of your budgets, in terms of savings, just like a lot of other apps. But it also has 100+ free workshops that you can do every single week. Now, just like before, even though this app has so many amazing features, there are a few downsides to this. Number one is that it's not a free app. You do get a 34-day free trial, but after that, you do have to pay either $89 for the year or $11.99 per month. Now, if you are a student, you can get 12 months for free as a student. The other major downfall to this app is that because it is such an intense budgeting app and it's so detailed in every single way, it can be a little lengthy of a setup process compared to a lot of other apps. Most apps you sign in, you link your accounts, and it just starts going right away. This app has a lot more steps because it is a lot more detailed. But if you are really serious about budgeting and you're really wanting to either get out of debt or save a lot of money, I would highly suggest looking at You Need a Budget. So the third app on our list is Pocket Guard. And this is an app that's particularly beneficial for those who have an overspending problem. So like a lot of the other apps, you can create savings goals and investment goals and things like that. But one of the things that's really awesome about this is that it has a specific algorithm called In My Pocket feature. Tracks your income and your outgoing expenses, and it gives you notifications and updates on how much extra spending money that you have available. Because at any point, if you're looking at spending money, you can check the app and see what kind of discretionary income that you have left to see whether or not you should be making this purchase. The other thing that's super fantastic about this app is that it has an autosave feature. I really think this is a phenomenal feature because let's face it, sometimes we forget to automatically save, and when you have something done automatically, you are so much more likely to actually save. Now, if you have the premium version of this app, there's also a cancel my subscription feature that is also really fantastic. And with this feature, what it does is it will analyze all the different subscriptions that you have, and it will tell you which ones that you should be canceling or which ones you can save money on and how to go about doing so. Now, even though this app is phenomenal for people who have a spending problem, there are some downfalls to this. One of those being that this app does cost $34.99 per year if you want to upgrade to the premium version of this app. The other downfall is that the autosave feature is only available to US citizens, and like most other apps, sometimes this app has an issue of miscategorizing certain expenses. So if you are someone who not only wants a good budgeting app, but something that's going to really help you on the investment side of things, I would highly recommend as the fourth one, Personal Capital. What I love most about this app is that it's not just for people who are trying to budget or save money, but it's also really geared towards people who are trying to invest and build wealth. This particular app has a money account dashboard that lets you track your income, your expenses, it tracks your net worth, also tracks all your investments and your portfolios. It is a free app and has all different kinds of investment tools and even really cool things like investment or retirement calculators. It also offers a daily capital blog for financial tips, investment tips, and things of that nature. And there's also a portfolio analyzer. Now, the portfolio analyzer, in my opinion, is super cool because what it does is it analyzes all your investments and the fees that you are paying on those particular investments and will let you know whether you are overpaying or not. So even though this app is really phenomenal for budgeting and investing, there are some downfalls to this. One of the biggest downfalls is that it's not very comprehensive on the budgeting side of things. So if you're really needing an intense budgeting app, I would highly suggest you use one of the other ones we've mentioned so far, but this is a really good app mostly for the investment side. The other major downfall is that if you want to use its investment management services, it does cost 0.84% of your overall invested money up to $1 million accounts. Let's talk about the fifth app that I'm adding on here, which is an app specifically for relationships. So if you're in a relationship and you have finance goals as a couple, I would highly suggest that you use Honeydue. What I love about this app is it allows you to manage your money together, it allows you to track everyone's spending, and you essentially work together. You can see what each partner is spending money on, what they're doing. It allows you to set couple goals, budgets, savings goals. You can set up customized alerts for when certain partners are overspending, hitting the spending limit, and making sure that each person is adhering to the budget. But overall, this really is the best app to be using if you are in a relationship and you are trying to hit certain goals as a couple. Now, I would just say one of the biggest downfalls of this app is simply that you just need to make sure that there's a lot of transparency going into this app, because you can actually select which accounts your partner has access to seeing and which spending accounts that you're using, but then you can also hide certain accounts. So the most awkward thing would be to have one partner think that you have all your accounts linked up, and then they come to find out that you actually have a separate account that you're making different purchases on. Yikes. So just be sure that you're going into it, very open and honest about the situation. And that's really, in my opinion, just the biggest downfall to it. Other than that, I think it's a fantastic app for people who are in a relationship and you have certain relationship goals. Now, I just want to talk very quickly about one particular thing to keep in mind when it comes to budgeting. And I've talked this a lot in my other videos, so be sure to check out my other savings videos in the description box below. Please keep in mind that, even though all these apps are going to help you with developing a budget, with investments and things like that, we have to understand that when it comes to saving, when it comes to investing, this is very much more of a behavioral thing than it is even a strategy thing. So what do I mean by that? Well, it's very easy to use an app or to get a piece of paper out, go through your expenses, and create a budget where you have everything mapped out. Okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and this is going to be fantastic, and you have everything mapped out. But then, a week later, 2 weeks later, a month or two later, you're back to your old habits, you're spending too much money doing this, or you're not even looking at the app anymore. So while these are fantastic tools, there's no guarantee you're going to save money other than you have to begin changing the behavioral issue too of what is going down or what's causing you to spend the money or not saving like you should. When I first moved to Los Angeles, I was living paycheck to paycheck, working side jobs, hustling like crazy, not saving money. And it wasn't really until I got deep with myself on the psychological things and the behavioral things, behavioral patterns I was doing, and I really began attaching a lot of pain to spending money and really attached a lot more pleasure, being able to create financial freedom for myself, that I really began making adjustments. And that's the very core of it. Everything is based on your pain and pleasure neuroassociations. When I struggled to save money, I had so much pleasure attached to consuming, to buying things, to getting something now. When I was able to finally sit down and get real with myself and reassociate those pain and pleasure to where I began developing pain for consuming and pleasure for producing, building, creating financial freedom, that's where the shift really started happening. So I would highly suggest that you really start to get real with yourself and ask yourself, why do I feel like I have to spend money when it's not absolutely necessary? What's that pleasure? What is the pain that's holding me back from actually saving? Because let me tell you, I don't care how much money you're making, you can save money. My first year in LA, I only made $19,000. I managed to save $9,000. It was pretty intense, and like I said, I have videos in the description box below to that stuff, but that is so important. But anyways, I hope this video gave you so much value. If it did, do me a solid and go ahead and just smash the like button for me. Hit that subscribe button as well. It would absolutely mean the world to me. It's a lot of work putting these videos together. Also, when you like, you comment, or you subscribe, it pushes this video out into the YouTube algorithm even more because it helps YouTube understand that this video is actually good and it actually has good information. So please do me a solid and either like, leave a comment, hit the subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. But I hope you have an amazing day. Let's get out there and let's build that dream.